ביי. נדבר אחר כך. ביי. טוב, מה נשמע? אהלן.
ארז,
יס, בוקר טוב.
אהלן, צהריים טובים אצלנו, מה נשמע?
זה מצוין.
מה זה הרקע הזה? זה רקע... זה לא אמיתי.
אני לא יודע מה זה רקע, זה מלון. ציור שבמלון. הוא אמיתי, אבל הוא ציור.
לא, זה היה נראה כאילו אתה בתוך איזה קיר בטון לא גמור.
לא. האמת זה נראה ככה, אבל זה לא. כי אני אגיד לכולם לעלות.
ארז, על מה מדובר? מה זה הפרויקט הזה של הוורדים?
התחלנו לגדל ורדים בצ'יסאד.
כן, ראיתי במשתלה.
בדיוק. הנה, מצטרף דוני, זה היזם של הוורדים. תכף נראה את איקה. היי דוני.
Kelihatan gue kan? Kenapa lo?
Enggak kedengar. Apa lagi?
Udah masuk kita.
Hi, Eres.
Hi Donny, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well, you see all the group.
Where is?
Huh?
We miss Ika. Ika is not joined yet.
Yeah, I know, I see. I asked her to join.
Yeah.
I hope she has internet.
Pardon?
I hope she has internet.
In Chisad. I hope so.
Me too. Usually she has.
I have. But if she got the mobile phones, she got the internet.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Ika, we are in the Zoom waiting for you. Okay, good luck. Bye.
Itu bagi.
Enggak apa-apa, penting udah cukup. Biarin aja kalau gue bilang penting gue lihat dia.
Nggak kelihatan loh.
Lu aja kelihatan.
Enggak, lo nggak kelihatan.
Kelihatannya cahaya. Cukup deh.
Jangan iniin cahaya. Lihat cahaya muka lo.
Pegel megangin sini.
Here is Ika.
Good morning.
Aduh, siapa lagi nih masuk nih? Ika, oke.
Ika, she's joining, yes.
Yes, Ika joining.
Okay. Good
Okay.
morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon here.
Hi,
Hi, Ika.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I'm late 5 minutes.
No problem. Be happy.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I will make the introduction. First of all, good morning, good day to everyone, wherever it
Good
is.
day.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I will make the introduction to whom doesn't know. Everybody knows everybody beside Donny. So we have here Eitan, the inventor of the solution. We have Shemer, we have Uriah, we have Ika, and we
Shemer.
have Donny.
Hi, nice to meet you.
The new guy in the group is Donny. Donny is a longtime friend, and he and his wife are growing roses. And we met, and we thought, because he has a big market, to grow roses and maybe later on other horticultures in Chisa to start in order to move forward. So he brought a few plants to Ika. She started, but because we know that they are using existing practice, and since Eitan was growing roses, and his nickname in Israel was King of Roses, I thought it's better that we will start from zero, and we will start to align, bringing the old practice to the new practice. And we prepare accordingly. The good thing now that Indonesia is open, so we can fly over by yourself and send experts. So I thought to make this Zoom because I understand that now is preparing to move to the greenhouse. So I will give the stage to Eitan, or maybe, I give the stage to Eitan. Later on, you can share what you are doing, about what kind of roses, etc., etc. So, Eitan, good morning, good afternoon.
As you said, good day to everybody.
Yes.
Good day.
So the idea, we are dealing with roses, so no, those roses are without fragrance. So people normally taking roses and they are trying to smell when they're trying to attract the woman. Let's smell a rose. But most of the roses hasn't got any fragrance due to the fact that this is due to the fact that commercially the gene that is in charge of having the fragrance is actually acting against the fertility. So taking it out. So people making the combination how to make it impressive in order the not so much the odor as the color or the general ornamental view, whatever it is. Okay.
Yes.
So where we are, we can make long story about roses. I myself very much fond about the roses. I myself did my own roses apart from being extension officer in roses in my country and other country for many, many years. The main idea is, let's start from the existing. If we will take what I saw in those few pictures, by the way, those roses are grafted or non-grafted?
Grafted, yeah.
Grafted, okay?
Yes. I think it's oculation, yeah. Yeah, oculation.
Okay.
We put the in the bottom we put the local roses, and we what you call it? We put the import roses in the local roses.
Okay, if I'll touch that point, allow me, I would speak now freely about a few things about roses before it will be very easy to conclude with the things that ICA is doing in that small nursery. But I'll give you a little bit background what is needed. And if we've already touched about grafted or non-grafted, I don't know whether you are aware, first of all, from the point of view of preparing a plant and to make the grafting and to get it ready for commercial, it will take from the day it started till the day it will be in production. It's sometimes taking more than a year, even sometimes 2 years to get a mature plant, okay?
Oh no, I think the first harvest about 6 months.
6 months, okay. So probably because of your climatical condition, because here in Israel or in Europe, we have to pass through the winter. And through the winter, it's a kind of a dormancy, and the plant doesn't actually get the same energy as it can get under the climate condition, which are in Indonesia. So anyway, even after here, it's in relation to what I might be giving you an idea at that stage, and hopefully when we'll be meeting, I'll give you the full idea about the issue, okay? Most of the roses worldwide nowadays are not done by that technique of grafting. It's actually rose on its own root, okay? Rose on its own root actually maximize the productivity, actually taking to the price to much lower as a factor, much lower, because if we normally in a hectare, depend how much, what is the density in the population, but normally people doing in hectare between 60 to 80,000 plant per hectare. I'm speaking more or less, okay?
Yeah.
If you're speaking about on its own root, you can actually easily go from 80 to 90 without any problem, because the density, which will be according to our way of irrigation, definitely fitting more in order to get the increasement of productivity from square meter to be by far much higher, much quicker, and much cheaper, okay? So those are three elements from the economical point of view. If we will do, and the way to do its own root, it's quite easy one, because if you got the facility, even I would say the domestic facility that ICA used for the vegetable, if you got the humidity and the technique of a little bit of experience, it's just a matter of getting, I would say, the right condition, and you might be getting, I would say, the roots activity after sometimes 10 days, not more than 2 weeks, it's already started to have new roots, okay? So those new roots, after waiting not more than, I would say, a month time, they will be ready to take them straight into the field, whatever will be the field in terms of the substrate, whether it will be, I would say, all size and all kind of, call it artificial substrate, like a cocoa peat or rock wool or whatever it is, the substrate. So in terms of doing the roses on this mode of its own root, there's a lot of advantage, and later on we can actually speak about it and elaborate in order to find what is the right way in order to speed up the process and to get the return per square meter much faster and much easier. There's another element in roses, which is not less important. Of course, if we're speaking about ornamental flower, ornamental is a matter of a mode. So mode from time to time, it is changed. People not necessarily keeping the same color. They would like to change and replace color and replace shape and whatever. So the ability not to be considered that the preparation of a new lot of a new plant is quite inexpensive. Here we are, we can have the combination of doing, I would say, on its own route, new type of variety. It gives you the flexibility from an economical point of view to figure it and to do it very, very efficiently. So that was just, I would say, an idea about the method of growing. if I'll go a little bit further than that, let's say at the second stage, which is already the plant in the ground, whatever is the ground, the common system, and I've heard from Erez a little bit about his non-ignorance in roses. He tried to describe me what is actually got from you. So, and what I'm actually getting from him that you actually using in terms of call it the build up of the plant or the design or whatever it will be called. I call it bush management generally, okay? So all over the world, including the Far East and Europe and Israel and South America, people are for many, many years have started to adopt the Dutch system of using the bending system, okay?
Yes. Yes, we
The
use that.
bending system definitely works, no doubt. But if you go looking a little bit deeper, with some connection was what I was mentioning just before. If you got some experience of doing that technique as practical scheme, you probably have found, if not, I will just try to eliminate some ideas. The bending can speed up to a certain extent the first appearance of bottom shoots, okay? And the whole idea of commercial roses is, of course, to increase the number of bottom shoots, okay? So in the bending system, quite typical, you can see lots of vegetation, which is called irrelevant or inappropriate for the commercial stuff. So those ones are really bending in order to encourage the plant, in order to give you more shoots, water shoots, okay? But once you, and especially I can imagine, without actually having seen it, I can imagine that if you are actually using the bending, what is actually the bending? The bending is at the bottom part of the plant, very close to the surface. There's lots of vegetation. Once it's actually lied over there for a long time, it is becoming to be an attraction for botrytis, for red spider, and all sorts of other goodies, okay?
Yes.
And then it's becoming to be a nuisance, because on one hand, you're looking for the advantage that what the system is really offering in order to encourage the shoots. But on the other end, you're finding yourself nonstop fighting against botrytis, which is probably one of the most dangerous, I would say, disease, and especially in a humid environment, it is horrible because the spores are always there. And any spray that you'll be applying, it will be very, very inefficient. And part of that, I would say, world of chemicals, you cannot use the same chemicals for too long because very short time, it actually expires the efficiency. And once it's expired, you actually remain with the rob. The rob is actually causing the plant to get, in terms of physiological effect, it gets elder. So the same dynamic and the same vigorous that the plant did get at the beginning, you can see that the number of the shoots is declining. And I would say from economical point of view, you can see the climax might be reaching between the year 2 or 3 of the productivity, and then it starts to decline, okay? Then people are making all the consideration for how long I still can hold the plantation in order to make the break even, okay? So the break even, if I'm speaking about an alternative that I will be offering for you, it's up to you. You can actually do both. You can do the bending, or you can do the other way of I'm offering, and I very much, I would say, advise on that. That would be to build up what used to be in the very, very old days, but with lots of modification, is a kind of a structure, okay? That structure is actually, by doing it selectively, we can actually build, I would say, story on story, that all those which are actually functioning, they are in very high potential to give me good flower. What does it mean, good flower? Is the bud size with the length. Because yes, one of the typical phenomena of the bending, you're getting lots of flower, but probably a lot of them are very thin, secondary grade, okay? And accordingly, the price. So if you're speaking about a market that is willing to pay, those ones that actually that we are aiming to sell them, they are looking definitely for quality. Quality is the size of the head, the bud, and the size of the length. Those are the elements that people are willing to pay for that. We should not get into that kind of a compromise that if we are doing along with this system that I'm offering, that we will be definitely getting less, maybe a little bit on the margin. But at the end of the day, in terms of economics, the price, meaning good quality multiplied by good price, giving you much better return. Okay? Not speaking about the longevity of the plant. Because if I make those plants that actually the duration or life expectancy is, let's say, 3-4 year max in terms of being good producer, those can actually live and live and live in behind decade without any problem. Now I'm going back into the simplicity. Okay, what is the simplicity?
Yeah.
Those buckets that Ika take care, as usual, she always happy to take care of new babies. Whatever the baby are coming, she is willing to take care. She is a good soul woman. Okay. But anyway, to take care about babies, you have to be aware how to deal with them. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're just doing, you're a good boy. You have to, or good girl, whatever. Okay. So the idea is that what I would suggest is the media for growing. It will be a real bucket, black bucket, plastic bucket, which got the, I would say, the ability with UV protection, and not those bucket of white plastic that was just a matter of temporarily to hold the substrate. If we are now speaking about something that should be massive, it means it should be having the weight to hold the plant and not to get, I would say, be broken after half a year and then started and all collecting the wreckage. So the idea is do it in a black bucket. I would suggest you do a bucket of whatever is available from 10 to 15 liter volume. Okay. If you find 20, still fine. But if you go further than that, it's a waste. We don't need it. Okay.
10 or 20
We
liter.
really don't need it. Now, the substrate, the preferable substrate might be, as I've learned, it should be, I would say, coco peat. And I always use coco peat with certain, I would say, gram of osmocote, irrespectively what is the osmocote, as long as it got the NPK, okay? And a little bit trace element. That is actually what is important. I would suggest you, as long that we are now making a kind of a, I call it a trial or whatever, a kind of observation, I would suggest that part of those roses will be grown in the same bucket, but with a natural soil, okay? As long that the bucket definitely got good drainage, okay? This is basic. If the bucket should have good drainage, you might be surprised that for the long run, the local soil, whatever you call the local soil, it can be, I would say, a light soil, medium soil, heavy soil, whatever it is, okay? That has a certain content of organic matter, it is by far can be better comparing to the rock wool. I wouldn't say the coco peat. The coco peat is definitely a good stuff. But again, a good stuff for the long run, what's actually happening? I'm speaking now about a little idea, about another idea. The idea is the water regime and the fertigation, which is part of our doing, okay? One part which is quite an important one, okay? Irrespectively what is actually growing. We are aiming to look at the activity of the roots. Roses surprisingly also got roots, okay? The very first model where I started my study started on roses, okay? So if I'm actually getting, I would say, natural soil with a certain content of organic stuff, the response might be, I'm saying not surprisingly, sometimes even better than the other stuff, which call it, I would say, soilless substrate, okay? Why? Because the soil is substrate, in terms of, I call it the definition, after a short while, because the extensity of the irrigation and fertigation, and most of the people, without exception, worldwide, are exaggerating by far, putting water and fertilizers to a certain level that very, very shortly, the media become quite salty. The mean of what people are doing in order to get rid of the salt, excess of the salt, is leaching. But this is, I would say, this is a refugee, I would say, exit. This is not the right way to do, because if you're managing correctly, we can avoid almost totally, and we got some cases of doing things agriculture, intensive agriculture, 4 years without doing even once what we call leaching or washing. This is very important. So if you're actually taking the combination, and now I'm adding another issue. All over the world, of course, including roses, people refer to the roses to very, I would say, intensive crop. And of course, they are mostly using drip irrigation. Drip irrigation with a known formula of irrigation and fertigation, it's a sure combination to destroy the substrate and to increase salinity. Salinity is enemy number one of any roots. So the idea is not whether you are using drip irrigation or are using that fertilizer or the other fertilizer. The idea is how to use it wisdomly in order not to get into that stage that you actually have to attack and fight against enemy. The enemy is the enemy of the feeders. So the whole idea of what actually we are doing is encouraging the feeders to be grown on and on and on without any interruption. Okay, so that kind of idea where actually I'm taking from one point to the other, I would suggest it's up to you to put all those buckets and do it as soon as possible when it's ready. Take one of the existing greenhouse where you're doing the melon pickup, okay, and make an extension from the line, which is a line parallel to the side of the greenhouse, okay? Just make a longer one and just take it on top of the bucket, okay? So actually the roses are against the wall, but the irrigation they are getting from the melon, okay? I'm doing it, first of all, to give you the confidence at that stage that that water regime, which actually serve the melon, can do very nicely to the roses as well. And whatever you'll be putting there, from cucumber to potato, whatever you do, it will be getting the same good results, okay? Why? We are taking care on the media, okay? So once the substrate is free of any things that might be causing drainage problem, here we are on the safe side, okay? So repeatedly, I'm mentioning the bucket should be filling with that stuff or the other stuff, but it should be definitely water can get out. And make an experiment, try it for yourself, fill the bucket once the stuff is already fit in, okay? And put lots of water to see that it's actually got excess and the water run out of the bucket, okay?
And it's important that the drainage will be at the bottom, not at the side too high. Because if it's too high, even at the bottom, always some amount of water and fertilizer are left in. So it should be really at the bottom. The drainage.
So the water and fertilizer have to go up.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, later on again.
Wait. Ika want to say something. Wait.
Yeah, usually polybags in Indonesia also have holes at side.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's
Not
not enough,
all.
Ika,
Yeah.
because if you don't have it at the bottom, directly in the bottom, always you have a layer of 1 or 2 centimeters that collect all the leftover. So this layer later on start to affect the roots.
Okay.
So we found out that the drainage that people do for the grow bags, they are sometimes ignoring the fact that there is a layer that always collect all the excess of the fertilizer. So
Very
we
nice.
need to make the drainage at the bottom, just at the floor of the bucket, that nothing left over.
Must be splashed out.
Exactly. At the bottom, at the floor of the bucket. And that's the reason you put the grow bag on kind of a gravel, that the water can go from the floor out to the gravel.
Penetrate outside.
Should be, yes.
So we have to search for
Okay.
this kind of polybags.
Not polybag,
I'm
bucket. Wait.
Oh,
First
bucket.
of-
Okay.
Wait.
Bucket.
For the roses, Eitan suggests bucket because you don't tow like the melon. So the bucket should keep the
It will
flower
be, it
by
will be
itself.
staying there. It's now commercial, but hopefully when that will be turned to be a full commercial field, it should have something steady. There are some
Exactly.
other alternative that I will be offering later on. But for the time being, we can actually use that one. That's what makes sense. So
Exactly.
keep those bucket over there anyway, because we haven't spoke even a word about the bush management, the designing, the pruning, how to do it, how to build it, how to cut it. That's another long story, quite interesting one. If you will be patient enough, I will be ready to tell you some story. Otherwise, if you get tired, just raise your hand, I will go home.
Don't worry. It's only 4 p.m. Don't worry. What I'm saying is, Ika, by the way, this drainage also is for the melon. Because
Mhm.
if you don't have at the bottom, always you have a layer above the drainage, even for the melon. So those polybags that come, they don't think about what we say. Because for them, drainage is drainage. But we know that we must drain everything. So even if you get polybags, you have to add drainage at the floor of the polybag. I mentioned the floor, not the side. Okay?
Now, I will ask from, let's say, one of the tools that, Ika, you probably fully aware about it. Are there any tensiometer functioning available?
Tensiometer.
Yeah, we have some tensiometer, but
Okay.
not in greenhouse 8. I think it's in greenhouse 6.
Whatever. I will ask you to put one of the tensiometer
Mhm,
vertically into one of the bag, into
mhm.
the middle of the depth. About, let's say, if the depth is about, what is it, 20 centimeter, about 10 centimeter more or less inside, okay? Even 15 centimeter.
Mhm.
And of course, that will be mentioned, but this is our part. We'll be mentioning this is a tensiometer for the roses, okay?
No.
The fertilizers of the fertility we will be using, as I'm saying, we are totally depend on what you are putting for the melon, okay? So that will be, I would say, just a continuation, just an extension of the last line of irrigation, which is now serving the roses as well. I think for the time being, unless you've got some more question for clarification, for me, sitting and giving that kind of lecture, it will take me a week now. I will not be ended. So
Okay. You told me that the on root is better than grafting. So we have to
Beg your
grow from.
pardon?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, we have to roast with the on root is better than grafting.
I'm absolutely sure, because I'm speaking about all the goodies and all the benefits which are involved in that subject, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the grafted one doesn't function. Of course it's function, okay? But for the point of view, whether it can be a rose, can be grown on its own root, the answer is 100% yes, without any problem.
So we have to grow from the seed then, not the stem.
Yeah, you have the facility to make the rooting. And once you have the facility, that's it, nothing more than that.
Okay.
You just take those units of 2 eyes, effective eyes, with the edge of it like a flag, the last leaf to be left at the beginning. it get the right condition. And as I'm saying, after putting it in an oven for not more than 10 days, it will be showing you the colors. You know what is the colors?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will try.
Okay. That's
Anything
it.
else? Donny,
I see.
any other questions for this session?
I just want to
Okay, bending.
say,
I did bending now.
first
but
time I'm learning about planting flowers. So I need your complete your detail SOP for growing roses. And for this time, I cannot.
Don't be worried. I'm here. I'm helping you. No problem. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm here
thank
and
you.
speaking via the Zoom. Hopefully one day I can see what's going on in Indonesia as well. But
Not too far.
Yeah.
Not too far.
Yeah, I've done with the bending now.
another thing which probably I've forgotten. Ika, it's up to you, but it's very important. Of course, as you ask, and I'll give you my advice in order to be very helpful. Okay, but I would like, and there's not something that I have to beg or to ask too much for that, because that's what you are. You are a very cooperative woman. But one of the things that for me is very important is to have the visual impression.
Every day.
Visual means your impression and a photo. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I
that
will.
cannot come once in a while. It can come
Every day.
but it's becoming useless. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also need your help, Mr. Donny.
Okay, it's very different now because I only know the Dutch style bending.
Okay.
yeah, we can start to use the new style.
It's a better style, Donny.
Yes, the better style. Okay. Okay, let's do. I'll put about 100 grafting there, but I will try another.
Okay. Now, what I suggest is, first of all, after we prepare all the infrastructure, we can have, let's say, every week or so. First of all, we need the pictures and zoom in a close-up, slowly, not rush, so Eitan can see the details. Second, we can have every week or so kind of update about the progress, because once you start to grow, you will have other questions. So
Okay.
I know that Ika is writing down all the notes, and she will follow and she make it protocol. And once we start, we should build a protocol for the entire process, including pruning, and later on bringing other horticultures, because flower is one, but Eitan grew others. Then we are now interact with a grower in Israel, which are growing flowers for seeds for Netherlands. And then we spoke with him to bring the method to go to make flowers for seeds also in Indonesia. So you're not depending in smuggling and importing, and make it official. So we make it official, our own seeds in Indonesia, which is,
Okay.
we know it's a good
Good.
business.
Erez, it's
Good.
not official, it's legal.
What do you mean? No, I said we make it legal, because once we grow the seeds, it make it legal.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
maybe
I
later
never
on we
smuggled.
make our own brand.
I didn't do that. It's not smuggling it.
No, I said other people,
My
not you.
wife smuggled it.
No. Anyway, the way we are going to do it is going to be commercial. Eitan did it for many years, and he, in a way, built a rose facility in Kenya that's become now the major export to Europe.
Yeah.
And I think that we can do the same in Indonesia to help. And Donny, you from being head of engineering division, as we said, you become head of flower division. So
Floriculture.
yes, so
Yeah. I try. Just starting.
okay, so
Before we
good
do
luck to
aeronautics.
us. We will help you together. All the people here will help you to succeed.
Yeah, but Indonesia, we need long stem and big butt.
What do you need?
The big butt and long stem.
So this is
For the roses.
any question. Eitan is not just roses. He knows most of the horticulture. So any challenge that you have, you can raise to Ika, to us, and we will help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Any more questions for today?
No problem. I
Ika,
will-
any question on melon or other stuff?
We have
If you are here, or other plant in the Chisat, if you are already here.
Oh, okay. We preparing for greenhouse 1 to greenhouse 4 for planting third cycles for melon.
Yeah.
And how is
And-
going? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and we prepare planting chili and corn in the open fields area.
Good. What about the stevia?
Stevia, we just grow only two beds until now, and we're waiting for new seedlings for stevia.
Now, did you try to?
Are you happy? Are you happy with the results so far with the stevia?
No, I'm
You're
not
not happy.
happy
Why you're not happy?
because the stevia is dwarf.
Bagus ya.
No, we can elevate it without any problem.
Mhm. I
No
hope.
problem no problem to elevate. In order to
Okay.
get, because what you are speaking, you're speaking about having hack of the back, because it's hacking the back, okay? And you have to lean all day long.
Mhm.
But the way how to do it, you can actually raise a bed or to do it in a completely different way, in a very intensive way. What does it mean? Like if you know, I don't know whether you have been aware, some of the techniques, we can do strawberries, which is actually hanging. Okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
You can do the same thing with stevia, because stevia, it's not a big tree, okay?
Yeah.
So you can actually hanging the stevia on something that will be actually suspended. I'm just giving you, I would say, general idea.
I will send you pictures later on. You see.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you mean that stevia should grow in greenhouse like a strawberry with hanging?
I'm speaking on those ideas when you are got an alternative. Okay. Normally, it makes sense to do it on a plain land. Okay.
Plain land,
Because you
yeah.
have to have a lot of area. Okay.
Mhm,
In order
mhm,
to make the high production. But
mhm.
if you got, I would say, a niche, a very special market, and you would like to speed up the process and to have many, many cycles, so you can do it, I would say, in a greenhouse as well, without any problem.
I'm waiting for your suggestion for your SOP for stevia. I want to see stevia grow higher.
Okay.
Mhm.
So wait. Let's make it happen. Now we can continue. We still have time. What you can do is maybe to allocate some grow bags, like we are now talking about buckets for the roses, and put some stevia in, not outdoor but indoor, and start to see maybe you can grow more, because at the end of the day, the issue of greenhouse or plan is to grow more with the same cost. So if we manage to grow more stevia in greenhouse, and maybe avoiding pesticide because it's protected, and avoiding rain because maybe also damage, maybe it makes sense to go
And
with
it's-
a greenhouse
And it's on a raised bed.
on a raised bed, so you don't need to
elevate
bend.
it.
You don't need to
You
bend.
don't
I
need
will,
to
I will
bend
send you
too
some pictures how, because strawberries are also small plants. So to avoid or to make the easy for the people that deal with it, they are building the entire bed at a height of about 1.5 meter or 1.2 meter. So then you are walking at the same level. And they hang it from the top of the greenhouse. Like you are hanging now the melon, you can hang the entire bed. It's a bit structural again, but it should be something that make benefit.
Erez, you're running too fast.
I know.
Hold the horses. Hold the horses. Hold the horses.
But you know
All
what?
the roses.
But I tell you, start at least to grow some stevia in the greenhouse next to the other side of the roses, just to see
Yeah.
the impact.
Maybe I can try to move some stevia from the land
Definitely.
into
Bucket. Yes.
inside.
In bucket.
But put it in a bucket, not put it in a bucket because it's a bush and you don't hang it. So it should be a bucket that has the ability to maintain and
Something
hold.
which is stabilized and it's not
Stabilize.
falling.
Otherwise it will fall. Because the melon, you tow it, or like the tomato and other crops that we put in a grow bag, you tow it, so you provide the support. But if we go stevia and roses, the bucket itself should be strong enough to hold it from bending, because we are not providing any support from the top.
It actually keeps the equilibrium
Yes.
from
And
the weight point of view.
if you need, I remember that Donny is an aeronautic engineer. He can help you to design this rose bed.
Padoni, you
And
have
later-
your
and la-
homework.
And later on, he will make it fly. Don't worry.
Yeah, I will fly to your country.
That's easy.
I want it. I want it. I really
This
want
is on
to.
this is on the
To
plan.
see Ethan, to
is on the
see
plan.
Uriah, not just online.
Donny, we can't hear you. You're on mute, Donny. So,
Mm.
Yeah.
so what I'm
Okay.
saying is, we have a lot of things to do, and now that the sky are open, we will come and visit and give the training locally, and let's move forward.
Okay. Let's do it.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for listening.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for
Okay,
doing,
Perez. Oh, Ika.
and good luck to us.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Pak Doni, Ethan, Eres,
Bye-bye.
Uriah. Bye.
Bye,
See you
thanks.
later.
Bye bye.